Hey guys, good morning. So today what we want to make is I'm going to make what is called as Poricha Koyambu. Now Poricha Koyambu is another, I think it is a Tamil delicacy. It is a special kind of sambar, but essentially it's mixed with tons of vegetables. So it's also very rich nutritionally, and it's very filling, and it's got a lot of proteins, a lot of vegetables, obviously, because of which lots of nutrition. I remember it used to be my mom's specialty when I was a kid, and myself and my brother used to fight for it, just to finish it out. It used to be so tasty. So I'm going to make it up. I'm going to make it today, and let's see how that goes. So to start with, the ingredients required. So I've taken, these vegetables that I had in my fridge. I think this is a good one. One of this is good. One tomatoes, couple of carrots, some potatoes, beans, and then I also have a drumstick. That's all the vegetables I have in the fridge. Few other vegetables that can be replaced or added will give better taste. Would be a few brinjals or eggplant if you have, and also if you have, instead of, let's say, the what we call this chow chow. If you have pumpkin or snake gourd, those can be added as well. So that's the vegetables I'm going to add today. And I have about half a cup of tur dal. I think it's called pigeon peas. Tur dal, a half a cup of it, a little more than half cup. Then I have a bowl of shredded coconuts. I would call it like maybe a handful of coconut, and then some jeera, 1 spoon of jeera, 1 tablespoon of urad dal. I don't know the English for this. Urad dal, URAD. And then I have 1 spoon of mustard, 1 spoon of turmeric powder, and then I have maybe 1/4 spoon of pepper. Maybe we'll call it like 15 or so pepper balls, and then a little bit of hing, my favorite. It always adds a fantastic flavor to any dish you can make. Of course, in addition to that, you need oil and salt as you need it. That's the sort of the ingredients you need for this. So first step is in a small pressure cooker. Let's put the dal into the water, and typical way is you fill the water till it fills up to the first this line of your finger. I think that is enough water, and I added a little bit of turmeric, and then I'm just going to put it on pressure cooker and wait for a couple of whistles, and then I shut it down. That's the first step you need to do to sort of cook the dal. So step 2 is I've taken my mixie, and I've taken that coconut, that a handful of coconut, about a spoon of jeera, and about 8 or 9 pieces of pepper, or 15 balls of pepper, and I'm going to add about half a glass of water and just grind this thing. So I've cut all the vegetables. You can see how much of vegetables we have. This is how much will go into sambar. It'll be fantastic, right, from a nutrition perspective. So I'm basically going to put it in a pressure cooker. So I put 1 glass of water in it, and I'm going to put all these vegetables into the pressure cooker. So in this vegetable mix, I take about a spoon of salt. Later on I can always adjust the salts, but I'm using this Himalayan salt. The hing that I had, throw that 1 hing into it. About half a teaspoon or a little more than half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. Put that in. And then I also have the 777 sambar powder that I got from the Indian store. About 1.5 teaspoons of that. Let's add that in as well. And heat it up and let it cook. So I put it in, switched on the heat, and also put on the weight. Since there is a lot of water in the vegetables, so we don't want to add too much of water. So 1 glass of water I've added. I'm going to wait for the first whistle to blow, and then I'll shut it down. It'll already cook very quickly. So open it up after a single whistle, and now the vegetables are beautifully cooked inside. You can see. And now comes for the penultimate step, where, if you remember, I had put it in the mixie, the coconut and jeera and pepper mix. I will simply add it to it. Okay, of course I'll wash this and put it in, so that I'm not wasting anything. And then likewise I also have the tur dal that I was cooked in the pressure cooker that I did in the step 1. Just add that as well. And you're almost there. Already getting a nice smell. Put some water and rinse it, which is what I'm going to do right now. So I did all that and I've mixed it up. So it's a little bit more liquidy because I think I added a little bit more water initially. So I'm going to switch it on and then allow for it to sort of boil so that the water evaporates and it becomes a little thicker in consistency. Keep it in sim and let's do that. So I told you, right, it became a little watery. So one of the things, techniques, a small technique is that my mom, I talked to her. So one thing you can do is just take 1 spoon of rice flour and use the liquid part of sambar to just mix it up in the side, like that's what I did here, and make it a small paste and then put it inside this. So what happens is the rice flour sort of absorbs the water and makes the consistency a lot thicker quickly, and also adds a little bit of a pasty flavor and a pasty texture to the sambar, to the Poricha Koyambu. So that's something you can do. And secondly, now you have to be careful now because you added already the coconut mixture as well as the what do you call the pulses, the dal. So you need to make sure that you're constantly stirring this, otherwise you don't want the coconut to come and reside at the bottom, and if it does that then it will get burnt and it will entirely spoil the Poricha Koyambu. So you have to be very careful in the last minute, doing all the hard work and then messing it up in that last part will mess it up completely. So that's why after mixing it up, wait for it to boil like this, it's what we call it as running boil, where it feels like the water is running. That's the heat, and now I'm doing it because I want to get the consistency thick, but make sure that you take care of the coconut getting burnt. So the sambar, the Poricha Koyambu is ready there. So the last step is a little bit of garnishing. So take a little bit of oil and let's add the mustard, wait for it to sputter, and then I have the urad dal, and I've also added a little bit of cashew nuts just to get some flavor. So wait for it to finish the sputter. This one as well. A little bit, when it becomes brown in color, we are good to go. And then once you add it, you can always check for salt and add salt as need be. And I also would garnish it with a little bit of coriander leaf, and we are ready. I'll show you how this is. So you can see it's slightly getting brown. And switch on the heat. And you can just that's it.